Hello guys and welcome to Artflow channel. In this video I'm gonna tell you top 10 tricks that you should know in Adobe Photoshop. And yes, some of them are so well hidden that without this video you probably won't ever find them. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay guys, so the very first trick that you should know is how to create beautiful glare effects in Photoshop. For example, we have this great image with a girl on the middle of a scene and we have a lot of reflections around her, but we want to add some more glare to this scene. How we can make this? Well, quite easy. You need to create a brand new layer. Just click Command Shift N or go to the bottom right corner and click this plus button, click OK, and over here you can see that we have brand new empty layer. Now select brush, double check that you have opacity and flow set to 100, blend mode is normal, and right click on the image to make sure that your hardness is set to 0. About size, it depends on your image, on your desire. You can just adjust it with the brackets on your keyboard, left bracket and right bracket, and you can adjust it. So the next step is just click with the left mouse button, click OK, we have our glare effect, but it's quite unrealistic and you can tell that it's Photoshop glare. So to make it more realistic, we need to double click on the empty part of this layer and you're gonna see layer style panel. This panel is quite complicated, we're gonna go through this panel a bit later in our videos, but for now what you need to do is just to deselect this small button, transparency shapes layer. Now click OK to confirm those changes, and now what you need to do is to change blend mode from normal to color dodge. And here what we have. As you can see, right now we have beautiful glare effect that adapts to the background, and whenever you move it you can see that it's really nice. But we have one problem with this glare effect. This problem is brightness. It's way too bright. And to fix this problem, you can go in two different ways. First way is more correct, second way is not correct at all, and let me show you them. So the first not correct way is to decrease opacity. Why it's not correct? Because whenever you decrease opacity with color dodge, you're gonna create some gray effect on top of this image, on top of this layer, and you're not basically decreasing brightness, you're just desaturating it and make it look more gray, so it's not realistic at all. You can tell that it looks bad. So what you need to do is to change your brightness with the fill setting. Whenever you decrease fill, you literally just decreasing brightness of the source of light that producing this light, and now you can see that it's quite good. You can see that it's adapting to the background, it's not too bright, and you can work with it with pleasure. It's really easy way to create this glare effect. And basically it's not about this blend mode, it's not about color dodge, it's about some of blend modes that you can find in Photoshop. You can see the list right now on top of your screen. You can play with them because those blend modes work differently with opacity and fill, and you can just play with them and try which works for you better. Now let's go to the second trick, which could be quite helpful for retouchers. Let me show you why. Whenever you work with the images and you're looking close enough when you're retouching them, you're gonna find the problem that whenever you look close to the image, you're not gonna see all of mistakes that you've done, and you need to zoom out, zoom in all the time to catch those mistakes so you can fix them along the way of working. So to make it more easy for you to work in that way, you can use just feature that's built in Photoshop, and to make it work you need to go to Window, Arrange, and you need to create new window for your working document. For example, new window for 3 retouch 2 side view, that's name of document, click left mouse button, and over here you're gonna see that you have a second window of the same project. Now what you need to do is to split the screen in 2 different parts. Go to Window, Arrange, and just select 2 up vertical. Whenever you click this button, you're gonna see that now your Photoshop screen is divided to 2 different parts, left one and right one. And the most beautiful thing that whenever you work on the left side, for example, you're gonna see all the changes on the right side too. For example, let me select white brush, draw something, yeah, you can see that whenever I'm changing anything on the left side, I can see the same changes on the right side without any other actions that I need to do. Just draw, and now I can see the result on the right side. Whenever you decide that, okay, I think that I need to readjust size of those parts, so you can just hold Option and zoom in, zoom out on the screen and over here, and that's all basically how you can work with this feature. It's quite useful, especially for retouchers. And whenever you decide that, okay, I don't need that anymore, I just want to consolidate all of things to tabs and work as before, you just can go to Window, Range, and hit this button, Consolidate all to tabs. And here you go, you have one document and you have the second one. You can save both of them, you can do whatever you want. Okay, moving to the next one, and this trick is all about creating a contrasty looking image without boosting colors too much. Let me show you. Whenever we're creating curves adjustment layer over here, and we are creating basic S curve, which can boost our colors as well as brightness on the image, we can see that basically we can make this work done, but at the end we have boosted our colors way too much and the skin looks orangey, and the only way we can fix this is just to decrease curves over here or decrease opacity and fill. At the end, it's not as good as it could be, because basically I need to keep this brightness. I like it, but I don't like those colors. And to fix this, there's quite easy solution. You just need to change blend mode from normal to luminosity, and at the end you're gonna see that you're not affecting colors at all. The only thing that you're changing is brightness. It's not ideal, because whenever you change only luminosity, at the end your colors, they're looking quite desaturated, and at the end the image could look quite not happy at all. So the only way how you can fix this is to decrease opacity, or you can create for example a hue saturation layer, boost saturation a little bit, or play with skin colors using mask. But that's the best way how you can increase contrast on the image without affecting colors. So if you want to do that, you can do that. The second option is to create a copy of this image. Go to Smart Object, convert to Smart Object, double click on this small icon, then you're going to the Smart Object itself, and then you can go to Image, Mode, change this mode to Lab Color, and now you're gonna see that basically you're in a lab workflow, and lab workflow can help you to work with the lightness and color separately. So whenever you change curves with the lightness channel, you will not affect colors at all. So you're gonna have the same result. But the problem is Photoshop on newest version, it's quite bugged. So at the end you cannot use curves over here. What you need to do is to go to Image, then you need to select Adjustment, and over here you can select Curves. That's a problem that they are aware of, so I think they're gonna fix it quite soon, but for now that's the only way how you can basically work with curves in lab. So that's how it works. And now you can just create the same curve over here, boosting high, boosting bright parts of the image, lowering the dark parts of the image, and over here you can see that you have this same result. If you want to boost colors right now, you can go to A and B, you can hit on the middle over here, on the middle over here, and then you can just boost saturation of this image. And as a result, you're gonna have this result. When you boost contrast of the image in bright parts, dark parts, and you can change the color itself in channels A and B. Whenever you're done, you just click OK, Command S to save this one. Now you can go back to your previous document, and you can see that now you have a different Smart Object that you can go into, change those settings again, and go back to your main document, which is in RGB, because we haven't changed this during our procedure. And at the end, you can just save this as a regular image to RGB, JPEG, and work with it as a regular photo. So that's two different ways how you can boost contrast on your image using luminosity. Luminosity basically making the same thing as converting to Smart Object and transferring to lab color. So you can decide which one works better for you. And we are going to the next one. In this image we have beautiful landscape, but we have one problem, is that horizon level is quite skewed, so we don't have a perfect horizon line over here. How we can fix that? You can just select crop tool over here, it's C button on the keyboard, and right here you can see that we have another setting named straighten. Whenever you click this straighten tool, you can just draw a line, and the software basically it's gonna align your image corresponding to this line that you're gonna create, and you're gonna have a aligned horizon. Let me show you that. For example, over here I need to click clear just to remove those ratio. Now let me fix this again, V and C to reset this tool. Now we don't have any ratio, we have everything's clear. Now just select this tool, and I'm gonna ask you to do one important step. You need to change fill from transparent to generative expand. Whenever you change this setting, you're gonna see what's gonna happen in the next few seconds. I'm gonna draw a line over here, everything is straight, and now you can see that our image is rotated in a way that horizon now is straight. But we're gonna create some problem over here because basically we align image, but Photoshop basically, well, it don't have all the information about edges, so basically we're gonna end up with those transparent parts of the image. And our goal now is to fill those parts of the image with generative expand. And that's why you need this tool. If you're using older versions of Photoshop, you're gonna have to use content aware fill, for example, or you can just crop this image at all, sacrificing some details of the image. But right now we can use generative expand. Now we need to make sure that everything's fine. And now we need to click this confirm button. As a result, we can see that basically everything is fine. We have our image straightened, our horizon is ideal, it's perfect. And let's zoom to those parts where we saw that we had some issues with. And yes, that's the thing that I wanted to show you. As you can see, we have quite good details on the previous part of the image without any extensions. Over here, we have perfect quality. On the left side, quality is awful. And it's okay because Photoshop is trying to create a lower resolution for the images that he creates. Just in case you won't like the result, you can just change the result over here on Properties panel. Just click over here or over here, and you can take a look and decide which one works better for you. For example, in my situation, I like this one more. And at the end, you need to confirm that you're okay with this result and you want to upscale this version of variation. To make it work, you need just to click on the left top part over here, and as a result, Photoshop is going to upscale the details on this image, and you'll see that everything is perfect. Now you have high quality image, everything is straight, everything is perfect. And yes, you have some AI edit on this photo, but the other way how you can ignore this is just to crop the image, and if you're okay with losing some details of your art, you can just crop the image and not using AI at all. So it's totally up to you how you want to work with this, but I think that generative expand for those kind of situation is just perfect. And at the end, you just need to click OK and save your image. You can always see your changes over here on the right part in the layers panel. You can see a mask that you can adjust if you don't like some parts of the image. You can work with it, you can rasterize it. So basically, whenever you want to do, you can change it. And also you can change between variations anytime you want. Just click over here, over here, over here, and you're gonna have a different result for this. If you're not satisfied with this, you can just click generate one more time, and it's gonna recreate the same basically prompt that can help you to enhance your details and change everything. If you want, you can just type your text. If you want to have, for example, white border over here, you can just type white border and it's gonna create white border. So it's totally up to you. Okay guys, so this trick is gonna surprise you because I know nobody basically in my field who knows this trick, so please make sure that you know this. What I want to share with you is how to create a knockout effect on your text plates whenever you want to see through the place while keeping text editable. Let me show you. Right now I have my white plate over here. It's basically a rounded rectangle. Let me align it to the image. Everything is fine, aligned, perfect. Now we need to select type tool, for example, subscribe. Okay, perfect. Now we need to place it over here. And yes, guys, please consider to subscribe to this channel if you find this content useful. If you find anything that you didn't know, please subscribe. It's gonna help a lot to our channel. Now I need to increase size of this text. Just Command T. Okay, we change size of this text. And the next step is grouping those layers together. Just click Command G. We have a group. Now double click on the empty part of subscribe layer. And we're gonna open layer style. It's the same panel that we used before in this video, and yes, it's quite complicated. So right now we need to change knockout from none to shallow. Click OK, and then you need to decrease fill in this layer. As a result, you're gonna see that now you can see through this plate. And the most important thing that you can adjust the text that's written on this layer because it's fully editable. You can click T on your keyboard, change the text for example to artflow. Perfect. And the most important thing that you can basically do anything that you want. You can move this text, you can increase it, you can decrease it, you can make it see-through. And it's awesome because the other way how you can do the same effect is quite complicated, and the problem with the second way of creating the same effect is that it's not editable at all. So let me show you how you can do the same effect in the old-fashioned way and how most people would do the same thing for this kind of situation. They're gonna go and basically load selection of this artflow text. I need to hit Command, then over here. Now I need to create a mask. Just hold Option on my keyboard, click on the mask, and now I can see through this image. And yes, it's, well, in terms of how it looks, it's okay, but in terms of editability, it's not editable at all because it's a mask. I cannot change it and I cannot move it, and it's quite bad. So the first way of creating this knockout effect is the best one, and if you need to create something like this, now you know how to do it. And the next few features is all about setting up your Photoshop in the way that it's the most effective to work in this software because, well, from the factory it's not set it up as good as it could be. So to change Photoshop settings, you need to go to Photoshop, then Settings, and now let's go to the Tools panel at the beginning. If you're using Photoshop on Windows, you need to find this Settings panel in Edit section. It's not on Photoshop. It's either on Edit or Preferences or something like that. You can find it over here. Now go to Photoshop, Settings, Tools, and over here I want you to enable Overscroll and disable Enable Flick Panning. What they're gonna do, let me show you. For example, we're gonna enable Flick Panning. Now click OK, and now whenever I move across my image with the spacebar, left mouse button, you can see that I'm just floating on the image. Whenever I release my mouse button, you can see that I'm still floating, and that's a huge problem because I cannot just stay on the place where I want to stay. It's just constantly moving around, and it's not as easy as it could be. So please change this setting. Go to Tools, now disable Enable Flick Panning. What about Overscroll? Let me show you. The problem with Photoshop, with the basic settings of Photoshop, is that whenever you have image showed up with basically a fit to screen view, whenever you see the full image, you cannot move with your panning tool. I'm hitting spacebar, left mouse button, and I just cannot move my image. I cannot see what's going on the left part because Photoshop considers that I have everything in view. I can see my image clearly, and basically I don't need to move with my spacebar with my panning tool. And the only way to make it work, you need to zoom into the image. So right now I cannot see the image in full, and now Photoshop allows me to move to the left part, to the right part, to see everything that's going on outside of the screen, and that's quite problematic. So I would say that you definitely need to change the setting. Go to Settings, Tools, and please Overscroll, it should be enabled, because right now I'm hitting command 0, I can see the image in full, and now I can still move around my image. I can see what's going on over here, I can zoom in, zoom out, and it's quite comfortable for me, and I think for you as well. So please consider changing these settings, it's gonna help you a lot. And another tip is for old users of Photoshop who know how to work with the Save As feature, okay? So whenever you click Save As, it's Command Shift S, now you can find your desktop, for example, you can see format over here. And so old version of Save As works like this. But new version, it's basically you can see only a third of those options, and it's not as good as it was before. So right now, the only way to take back those changes to have the old Save As feature is to go to Photoshop settings. Now you can go to file handling section, and over here you need to turn on this checkbox, enable legacy save as. Whenever you have this enable legacy save as, you can still use your legacy save as from file save as section, and you don't need to hit option command S to use the second option that they implemented a couple of months ago, save as a copy. So if you wanted to have the old save as option, now you know how to do that. It's quite easy, and it's mostly for old Photoshop users who are used to save as feature as it was before, without basically having two different type of save as that works basically the same. So you can decide which one works better for you. And I have one more. Whenever you open JPEG image, you're gonna see a lot of different pop-up windows saying that you have color profile misuse, you have sRGB, Adobe RGB, and etc, 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 etc. It's gonna make your life more difficult in that way, especially when you don't know what's sRGB, what's Adobe RGB, DCI-P3, and etc. So to make it more easy for you at the beginning, you can just change your default color settings of all the projects to some standards. So that's gonna work quite fine for most of users in Photoshop, and you can do that quite easy. Go to Edit, then Color Settings. And over here, you need to change some stuff, especially this bottom part, color management policies. So what it does, whenever you open an image that should be RGB, it's gonna open RGB, and it's gonna convert this RGB to sRGB, ISC 619, and etc. What's this color mode? What is this? This is color working space, so that it's perfectly fit for online use, for Instagram, for Facebook, etc, etc, etc. Whenever you post something to social media, you need to use this color mode, sRGB, ISC, 61, and etc. So whenever you open RGB image, it's gonna convert it to RGB, and it's gonna use this working space, sRGB, ISC. What about CMYK? Basically color mode for printing stuff. You need to select over here, convert to working SMIC, and over here you need to choose whenever works for you. For me, it's web coded SWOP V2. I can just select this one, and that's all. As of gray and spot, I don't think that you're gonna use it at all, but if you want to, just copy those settings and it's gonna work for you just fine. So at the end, whenever you're gonna open some images that should be RGB but with different color profile, it's gonna be converted to sRGB. For CMYK, it's gonna be converted for this color profile. And whenever you want to change those things manually, you can go to Edit, and now you can change color settings, assign profile, convert to profile. You can change basically whenever you want, and yes, it's gonna save you a lot of time, I'm sure. And the last and most important trick that you should know in Photoshop is how to call a banana. You need to click on this three dots tool on the left side of your toolbar, go to Edit Toolbar, and then hit Shift on your keyboard and click Done. At the end, you're gonna see this banana. What it does? Nothing. But now you have a banana, and if you want to work with banana, you can at least see the banana on the left side of your tools panel. And if you're tired of this banana, you can just click on the toolbar again and it's gonna disappear. So yeah, it's like a gimmick feature that Photoshop keeps for a century, I think. And it works all the time on all the versions of Photoshop that I am aware of. So if you want to surprise your friends, now you know how to call a banana. And this is it, guys. If you like this video and if you find something useful in this short tutorial, please let me know in the comments, hit the like button and consider subscribing to this channel, because we're gonna post a lot of different stuff about design, Photoshop, Illustrator, and we're gonna share a lot of different things with you. So thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.